Welcome to the Beneski Museum of Natural History at Amherst College. We're about to take a tour with Dr. Stan Rachootin of Mount Holyoke College. Stan began working at Mount Holyoke in 1984 and over decades has taught numerous classes on Darwin's work. Today he's going to take us on a tour of some of the key elements of the Beneski collection.
Back over here and finish up the island that we're on here. Okay, this is the real mammoth. And if you use your eye of faith and pretend that you can see it, those are one washboard type tooth in wear up on the top and the same on the bottom. So this is doing the elephant thing. Very, very close to elephant. Indian elephants are really very close to mammoths, closer to mammoths than they are to African elephants. It's a real skeleton that was collected by Amherst faculty and students. The sternum is made, just to fill in. There wasn't a sternum, and the tusks were made just to fill in. The tusks were probably used in part to clear away snow. Again, you're not doing this on a glacier, but you are doing this on a tundra. And so there might be a couple feet of snow, and under that will be the lichens and stuff that you're eating, picking up with your trunk. The tusks probably did not curve. These tusks were made just to sort of fit into the holes, and they're probably curving around a little more than they actually did curve around in the real thing. At least I've not seen any that curve around like that, but they did curve around some, and there's at least one case that shows that these tusks were used for things other than clearing snow. They were used for fighting between males, because there was a case of two males that are fossilized in Texas that we can tell from the pelvis that they're males, and they'd gotten their two sets of tusks wound around each other like those stainless steel bar toys, which, while you're sober enough, you're supposed to be able to get apart and pull apart, except they're much harder to pull apart if you have a few tons of mammoth on each end of them who are really annoyed about the situation they are in. So both of them died and starved to death, or starved to death and died as a result. And thus we can see that they were used in male-male combat as well. Important information for you when you are when a rampaging elephant is coming at you and you have a large caliber gun and heaven forbid you know how to shoot it. Don't shoot for that high intelligent looking forehead, because it's mainly sinus cavities. Aim for the eye, because the brain is right behind that. The bigger you are, the less big your brain is in proportion to your body. If you're the size of a mouse, you want to have every square millimeter of your body with a neuron so you know exactly what's going on there. Can't afford to do that if you're the size of an elephant or a blue whale. You're going to use a patch like this, and we'll throw a neuron into that, because otherwise you couldn't move your head around. So we get less worried about keeping track of every little bit of our body the bigger you get. And our metabolism slows down. That's why small things can have high metabolisms and big things have slower metabolisms, because you couldn't get enough blood to all of your body, to your body, to have the coverage and capillaries that a mouse would have. So a mouse has a relatively larger brain for its body size than you do. But you have a huge body size relative to every other mammal of a similar mass to us. So, but we have one big hole at the top for the tusk, and then the one great rule, one of the very few rules that is never violated as far as I know in evolution, is the rule of giant mice and dwarf elephants on islands. If you get a mouse onto an island, it will become a giant mouse. If you get an elephant onto an island, it will become a dwarf elephant. Why? Because number one, elephants are really good at going out to sea. Because they have all these sinus cavities on top of their head is very, very light for the size of their body. And they come with a snorkel. built in their trunk. So they can just be out there elephant paddling. They've been found 70, 80 miles away from shore. And there are a lot of islands that are within 70 or 80 miles of a shore. And so they got to basically all the islands of the Mediterranean, to Crete, to Cyprus, to Sicily, to Malta, where you got an elephant that was 3 feet high at the shoulder. Very cute. It could still not hop, skip, or jump. It was still an elephant. You got hippos about the same size. And, they get out there and then they eat so much, they destroy the plant life, they start making runts, the runts get smaller and smaller, you select for better and better runts, you get eensy-weensy little elephants. People get out to these islands in the middle of the Mediterranean, and they also get out to places like the Channel Islands off of California, where mammoths do the same thing, some of the islands of Indonesia, where elephants do the same thing. Elephants do this all over the place. People get there, and what do they find? They find these little 3-foot-high elephants are delicious. So they eat them, and they go away really, really fast. And then they're left with all these skulls with a big hole in the middle of their forehead. They're big ones, they're small ones. And what do they become? In the Mediterranean, skulls with a single hole in the middle of their forehead. What? Yes?
Cyclops.
Cyclops, yes. This is perfect.
I was going to say that, actually.
Yeah, I know you were. That's why I was looking at your forehead. Okay, yes, this is probably the origin of the idea of the myth of Cyclops, because people did not really know about elephants in Greece, but they did see things that were obviously skulls with a big hole in the middle of the forehead. Okay,